Hi, today we're going to make 3 pair of flower earrings. They're going to be slightly different, and I'm going to show you how to make them from start to finish. And, flowers for spring. It's not quite spring here in Montana yet, but we're getting close. So anyway, let's go and make some flower earrings. Okay, we're going to make a little flower earring. You can see I have this one made, and we're going to make its mate right now. So the first thing you want to do is you need the little flower, you need a bead cap, one that'll sort of conform, and some crystals. This little green one is for the top, as you can see. After all, it's a flower. We need some green. And 2 little crystals of yellow ones. Actually, I believe this color is jonquil, and it is for the stamen. And then we need a ear wire, a eye pin, and 2, I've got 3, but I only need 2 head pins. We're going to put the 2 little stamens on the head pins, and we're going to do these at 2 different sizes. So we'll have 2 lengths of our stamen. So here we go. We're going to make this first little one. And as soon as we get it done, we'll make a second. And I like 3 wire wraps. You don't have to do 3. You could do 2, 4. But I usually do 3 on these or 4 on a normal one. Cut this little bit off and tuck. Now this is a little bit crooked, so let's straighten her up some by holding this and putting the needle nose back in, the round nose, and rolling it a little bit. Now you see it's much better. And tighten up the wraps. Okay, now we'll put on the second. We want this one to be longer so that they dangle at different lengths. Think about here. Yep. They're not perfect. Flowers aren't exactly alike, so. Now these are crystals, so you'd want to be careful not to break them as you're working with them. Trim. Come on, Rose, get it right. There's the second. Now that we've got the stamens made, we want to open up our eye pin. And yes, this will show a bit, at least the wraps will, underneath the flower. Unless you have a deeper flower. The lucite ones are deep enough that you won't see these. But you'll also have to make them a little longer so that they will come out of the flower. Now we'll put the flower, the bead cap, squish it down a little bit so it conforms to your flower, and then your green crystal. And then wire wrap the top of it, being very careful because you have that crystal at the top. Got a bit of the shakes today. we've got it all tucked and put together, we need to put the ear wire on. Now I like these to be opposite each other, so I'm going to see how I've got this one going. Looks like the little one is to the left. Okay. And there we go. One pair of flower earrings. Very simple, easy, and cute. Thank you. Okay, for the smaller flowers, you can see I've got a pair made right here. You want to not put in the dangling stamen because it's just too overpowering for the tiny flowers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an eye pin. Now you probably want to get store-bought eye pins for this because you don't want a handmade one to overpower the flower. So now we want 2 of the little small flowers. I've got some pretty little pink ones here. You need 2 eye pins. Like I say, you want to probably use store-bought ones for this because you want the little signature on the bottom instead of something larger. 2 4mm bicone crystals. 2 bead caps that will conform to your flower. 2 little green leaves. Now if you don't have leaves, just use a small green bead, something to show that it's your stem of your flower. Then we need 2 pieces of chain. I've cut one 2-link one and one 4-link. And then we need some small jump rings to put these all together. And a ear wire. So to start out, what you want to do is you want to just thread one of the little bicones, or if you don't have yellow bicones, just use a small yellow flower of some kind. Like I say, these are 4mm. Then you want the flower on. Like I say, this one's going to go straight onto it because anything long, because you'd have to have a wrap here or a loop, it would be too long for this, so just use one bicone with the flower. Then your bead cap, like I said, use a conforming one if possible so that you can sort of squish it onto there. And then your leaf. So then we're going to make a wrapped loop across the top here. Got the wrong pliers out here. Now because this leaf is on the wire like that, as I wrap it, it will move around. So you don't have to worry about it being in the way so much. Oop, got the shakes again today. Unfortunately, that's a little byproduct of my COVID that I'm recouping from. Okay, we've got 4 loops on there. So now we will cut the excess off and tuck it. Put this one aside. And now we'll make the second. And it's going to be just identical to the first one. Come on, baby. There we go. Push her down a little bit. Put on the leaf. And make the wrap. Whoop. Cut off the excess. Come on, baby. There we go. Tuck. All right, now we're ready to add the wire. You need to get 2 of your oval jump rings here for your wire. Since these are identical, it doesn't matter which, well, it would matter if I open it a little more. Okay. Doesn't matter which one goes on what piece of chain because they're identical, so just grab a hunk of chain and put it on. Again, these are small jump rings so that we don't have a really large signature on our earring here where the chain comes together. And lastly, we put it on the ear wire. Let's see, guys. Okay. On this one, I'm putting the big one on first and then the small one because I want them to be opposite of each other. And since we have this open, we can put the ear wire on right now without having to open it up. And there we have it. The little leaf will swing because it's not really attached great. I mean, it's just on the bar, so it'll swing back and forth. And there you go. There's the little tiny flower earrings. Hope you liked that. Okay, and here's one more style we're going to try. This one is a double stamen, double bellflower, and leaf to the side. And the stamens have little toho seed beads on them to keep the yellow going up them. So let's get started. We need an ear wire, 1 small jump ring, 2 tiny separator beads. Now, you don't have to use these. I just like them for a little extra depth. We'll need the bicones. We have one little green one and two little yellow ones. Now these are a brighter yellow than the ones I used in the other earrings. This is more of a sort of lemon yellow. And then we have the yellow Toho seed beads. These are number 11s. You want something tiny for these. You don't want to overpower the crystal or the flower too much. Then we'll need one little leaf. This leaf has the hole running from top to bottom rather than sideways, whereas these little ones over here had the hole running sideways over the top. Then we'll also need a conforming bead cap like we used on the other. We have a little tiny BellFlower, and then we have a bigger BellFlower. Now this BellFlower is interesting because it's sort of flat as opposed to longer like most of them are. It's not got a lot of depth to it, but it's extremely pretty. And that's one of the reasons we're going double with these. Then the last things we need is an eye pin. You can make these yourself. It's really simple. Just have a piece of wire and do a loop on the end. And then 3 head pins. Now again, I advise store-bought ones so the head is very small and won't overpower the stamen piece at all. So the first thing we can do is either make the leaf or make the stamen. I think I'm going to start with the leaf. So it's just the leaf and one of these little spacers. And then we're going to wrap it with a wrapped loop. Oop. Not supposed to drop it. Come back on there, baby. And then wrap it. Oops, that wrap went awfully low. Okay. Come on, you. Excess. And tuck. Okay, there's that piece. Set it aside. And now we're going to work on the stamens. I put 4 Tohos on one, and I believe it's 8 on the other. Yes. 1. Oops. Don't forget to put the crystal on first. It's the small one. Now remember, when you're wire wrapping these, to be careful because these little beads are glass and they will crack and break very easily. Tuck. Second one. And now to make the second one, this wire's a little crooked, so I'm gonna straighten it a bit. There we go. Crystal. Oop, come on, Crystal, don't run away. And then 8 Tohos. Now these are small enough, sometimes they won't go on your eye pin because these are, like I said, just number 11s, tiny hole. But it looks like I'm going to be fine with these. Okay. And then we'll wrap this one. Oops, didn't hold that. And there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. I just broke one of my beads. So we're going to have to cut this loose, get another wire, and start over on this one. Okay, now let's see if we can do this without busting the top of it, the top bead off this time. Let's see if I can get that really close so I don't have to tuck it so much. It's not bad, but still a little off. Come on, Rose, stop shaking for a teeny second here. Okay, now we want this head to be flat, so we'll just straighten it a teeny touch. There we go. And we can put these little seed beads aside because we don't need them anymore. And now the next step is to put the stamens on your head pin. And it doesn't matter which order you put them in. I just like to watch to make sure that when they're finished being put together that they're in opposite sides. Okay, we'll go with the flat one. Isn't that a pretty bellflower? We need the little round. You don't need to put these in if you don't want to. It will just sit right on top of the other one if you don't, and that's fine. Now our bead cap. Squish it so it conforms down to the lower one here. Sometimes you might want to bring it up here so you're not squishing down on all of the beads. There we go. And I got this a little crooked, but that's all right. I'll straighten it. Then we put this little green bicone on here to simulate the stem of your flower. Come on, baby, let's go on. This little one doesn't want to go on, so we'll just get a new one. I have lots. Doesn't look like the hole was drilled out enough on that one. Let's try this one. There we go, that's much better. Okay, now we want to do the wire wrap at the top of this one. And hopefully I won't break this crystal. If you're wondering what that was for, it's because when I twisted it around, it was just a teeny bit crooked. So I like to make sure they're straight, and so that was just a squish to pull the wires together better. Let's see. Yep, that's as far as we're going here. Trim the wire. Tuck just a touch there. Now we'll put the, oops, I've got this a little crooked, so let's put the round tip. There we go. Nope, still a little crooked. Sometimes you need to hang on with your flat nose when you do this to make sure that stays in place. Okay. Now we're going to put it together. So we get the oval jump ring and open her up. Let's see. Yep, that one's going to this way. Oop, come on, baby. So we put this on, put the green leaf on, and your ear wire. Tighten her up. And now this style is done. So you can see them both. And there we go. Style number 3. As you can see, not hard to make a flower. Hope you like that. Okay, so here are all 3 of the styles of the flowers we've made. This one is a simple one with just 2 stamens with no seed beads and just 1 flower. This one is with the little flowers, so no long stamen. The stamen portion is right up to the flower with some little side leaves. If you don't have leaves, just use a little green bead like I did over here on this one to add that green color in. And this one, we've put the 2 stamens in. We've put some 11-aught Toho seed beads in to finish the stamen up to it. And then we did a little double bellflower with a flatter, bigger one and the small one here, and added a leaf to the side. So that's 3 styles. You could do this style with the yellow bead tucked right up like this one, or you could leave the Tohos off, or you could put one of the side leaves on this one, or put the Tohos in. There's a number of different ways to make these your own, but this is the way that I make these 3 style of earrings. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, now that we've finished making our flower earrings, I hope you enjoyed that, and hope to see you again soon. Here's another look at them. This is the first pair, and probably the simplest to make. the second pair. I think these ones are actually my favorites. And the third pair. So there you have them, and we'll see you next time.